TCI Network, 15th anniversary. 15 years ago, a group of pioneers met in Barcelona to create TCI as a network to promote and develop the cluster idea among economic development professionals. This was the starting point of an exciting and eventful journey for the TCI Network. TCI has grown over the years into a strong network, reaching large parts of the global economy, and it is now the leading global network for practitioners, policymakers, researchers, and business leaders, working towards improving competitiveness in regions and clusters all over the world. 9,000 professionals in more than 100 countries keep informed, updated, and connected through TCI.
One really important value of TCI was this of being a global network. Then TCI started also as a neutral platform, so a platform of people in which to meet and to share knowledge, but from a peer-to-peer basis. Another value is that TCI is fundamentally a practitioner network, so it's not a network of theorists or academics, that they are also welcome and they form part of the network since the beginning, but fundamentally the point of discussion, the approach is based on concrete projects.
A core group of members with a variety of backgrounds, experiences and geography make up the TCI network and drive the organization's activity with the support of a growing number of organizations. Among them, national and regional development agencies, government departments, cluster organizations, companies, multilateral organizations and academic institutions. Relevant personalities in the world of clusters make part of the governance of TCI and inspire the network with their leading thoughts and guidance. TCI activities and the connections it provides have been a critical part of the professional development of many practitioners in the network.
TCI has been a major factor behind the rapid expansion of clusters globally and the capability of the practitioners that run the programs.
Being active in TCI, we have gained useful information of potential markets and great contacts all over the world for our cluster.
TCI presents the most intensive concentration of experts with similar interests and gave me an exposure to useful lessons and approaches.
TCI has been very successful over more than a decade, pushing the concept of clusters and competitiveness among practitioners. It has provided a useful platform to learn from each other, to share experiences, and to develop new and better practices on cluster development. At this point, we want to go one step forward, so we are working on improving and giving more added value to our members, and we want to support those who work in clusters in their daily work.
TCI provides value to its members in a number of areas: knowledge and expertise, networking and internationalization, visibility and profile.
The network gives you really access to both. It gives you access to a global network of contacts, people that you can work with, and I think that is what we see matters more and more in this globalized world. It's really contacts that are prepared, contacts that are ready to work with you on issues related to clusters and competitiveness. And the network is an opportunity, especially through its conferences, to educate and motivate your staff. I think what we see in many instances is that our members send their people that work with them and they come back energized and really with a much better idea of what they can do in this field.
TCI conferences, where the experts in competitiveness meet. The TCI community keeps permanently connected virtually through social networks and at some specific meetings with a regional or thematic focus. But the annual meeting point for the network is the well-known TCI Global Conference. It's an inspiring platform for fast exchange of patterns and ideas on competitiveness, clusters, and innovation. Participants can expect 4 days of stimulating learning, networking, and connecting with people from over 50 countries.
In the conference organizing committee, we work every year to be at the vanguard of competitiveness and innovation. Our members demand updated content, qualified networking and collaboration opportunities. and we have to be and to meet the expectations. I'm sure this year they're going to meet them.
Participants take great advantages of the conference.
Policymakers all over the world, they met and they are networking, and it's both formal and it's informal to exchange new ideas about competitiveness and innovation and yes, economic questions.
You know, we have our own, we see their own, and you go someplace and one, they shake your ideas or they create new stimulus to bring new ideas back home and populate them around the world, because I too travel a lot, and so these conferences really help the global economy.
Not only do you meet new people and bring back new knowledge to your local region, but you also then are able to share the expertise that you've developed with other people, and that's such a great buzz.
And my message to the TCI delegates is that this means that competitiveness is going to be even more important than ever, because more and more countries are going to try to export their way out of their difficulties, and it means that the underlying skills capabilities of the companies in their local clusters are really going to have to be brought to the fore.
From the first time in 1998, the TCI Network has been received in outstanding cities and regions from the 5 continents, renowned for building competitiveness strategies from the strengths of their clusters and people. Barcelona, Varese, Glasgow, Tucson, Cairn, Gothenburg, Ottawa, Hong Kong, Lyon, Portland, Cape Town, Jyväskylä, Delhi, Auckland, and the Basque Country. Delegates had the chance to explore their leading innovative clusters and to learn firsthand from their experiences in cluster policy and management.
We try to move every year from one continent to another, and we try to reach out people from different nationalities, different cultures, genders, so that the people is enriched by different perspectives.
The program is always tight. Insights from keynote speakers at the plenary sessions, different workshops looking deeply into specific hot topics, on-site visits to local clusters, brainstorming sessions, the general assembly of members. But there is always time for enriching discussions, agreements and disagreements, to catch up with friends and colleagues, music, dance, until the last day of the conference, when the organizers pass the torch to the next hosting city and everything starts again. TCI activity never stops, working in the present and thinking about the future. And how will the future be?
I imagine TCI as a strong global platform with antennas in many latitudes that multiply the international potential of the network and the local impact.
My ideal vision of the future of TCI is to become the most desired development forum for peer learning and business opportunities across national borders.
My desire is that TCI becomes the heart of innovation, knowledge and businesses, a friend who helps you to find the right people to work with in accomplishing your dreams.
TCI has a high level of openness to different strategies, traditional and non-traditional approaches to the cluster idea, and therefore accommodates a variety of perspectives, opinions and schools of thought, always with an attitude of respect.
Clusters will change their form. The way that we engage with each other will change their form. But this notion of really local interaction, I think, will only rise as we become more knowledge-oriented, and really the flow of ideas around people in a local area will matter more and more in creating these global advantages. And you can then kind of really leverage and project those type of local advantages much more on a global scale.
TCI provides a platform to discuss how clusters are able to influence business success and economic and social prosperity in the future.
And we underestimate the social dimension of cooperation, the psychology of cooperation, systemic approaches of self-organization, findings of neuroscience with the right and the left hemisphere of the brain and how they cooperate. So cluster should build social capital and new values. Cluster have to be creators of social innovation. And as Steve Jobs said, and perhaps it's a good advice to us, we have to stay hungry and foolish.
15 years later, TCI is still a passion for clusters, competitiveness and innovation.